So welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here. Many of you already know me, but in case you don't, I'm Donna. I handle marketing and communications for DONE.photos. And before we begin, I just want to introduce a little, kind of remind people who we are at DONE.photos and then introduce our presenters for today. So DONE.photos, as probably many of you, if not all of you know, is powered by NetLife Photo Suite. And we offer a comprehensive end-to-end workflow solution for volume photography studios of all sizes. Today, our webinar is a conversation with Magnus, who told me how to pronounce his last name before the call, but which I will get it maybe only 80% right. So I'm going to go with Magnus Bagge, who's the CEO of Exakta Photo Group. Magnus built Exakta from the ground up into Sweden's leading school photography company, and later expanded the company into an international business. He also brings a broader perspective through his involvement with NetLife. So we're really grateful to have him here today. So welcome, Magnus.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time. I'm also want to welcome Mary Beth. As some of you know, Mary Beth is the owner of DONE.photos, and she's going to be moderating today's conversation with Magnus. Through her work with volume studios across the industry, Mary Beth has a really strong understanding of what studio owners are asking as they look to expand, as they look to, sort of incorporate greater efficiencies. And of course, Magnus, you have lots of valuable insight to bring to us on those topics. So we're really excited to have both of you. This conversation is a Q&A. It's not a typical webinar. So we've got some questions that Mary Beth's going to ask, and then we'll open it up to all of you. So any questions that you might have, if you want to put that in the chat throughout as they come to you, I'll be reading them at the end of the conversation. So Magnus, Mary Beth, thank you both. And Mary Beth, I'm going to hand things over to you.
Okay, thank you, Donna. And welcome, Magnus. We're thrilled to have you here to get to know you better and to learn from you. So we have 7 prepared questions that I'm hoping we'll get through and to have time left over at the end of the 25 minutes for Q&A as well. Are you ready for the first question, Magnus?
Yeah, fire away.
All right. So you entered the school photography industry without prior experience. What led you to take that leap, and what do you remember most about those early days?
That's a long time ago now, but back in the days, I think when you're young, passionate, and you're full of confidence, you seem to make moves that, it was basically I was slipping on a banana shell into the industry. I had no prior experience, but it sounded, we had a friend coming up to us and said that they had a problem with the supplier of the school photography in their school, and we thought, yeah, we know a photographer and we know a printing company, and yeah, we can do it. So first year we took pictures of 3.5 thousand heads, and we thought it was quite fun. At that point, we sold everything in cash, and probably between us collecting the cash and putting it into the bank, half of them was disappearing in our pockets, basically. But that was back in the days, 35 years ago. But at the same time, I think without prior experience going into an industry that barely hadn't changed for so many years, I think we came with a new perspective where we looked at things, challenges with new eyes, with clear eyes, and that curiosity I think we still have as of today, where we enter new markets and look at businesses.
Okay, wow, 35 years, that's incredible. And all you needed was a photographer and a lab to get started. That's funny.
Yeah. It was quite more challenging than that, but we
course.
managed, and we're still here. So we
Yeah,
did something right.
You did something right. Absolutely. Yeah. I actually can relate. I had no prior school photography experience as well. I'm not even a photographer, but I'm a big believer that skills are transferable across industries. So
100%.
you did it. Yeah. All right. Next question. So you've grown Exakta into an international company. So, wow, another big leap that is. So what changes when a business moves from growing in one market to operating across multiple markets?
I think the biggest shift is complexity, because every market is unique. Even though we have basically we operate from an 80-20 base, where 80% is the exact same thing. We take pictures, we should deliver pictures, but we also need to adapt to the complexity in each and every market with the heritage from that market. So that brings some complexity, but also I think in order to actually succeed with growing into new markets or new countries, you need to have structure in place, you need to have consistency, and you need to be quite stubborn as well, I guess. And also it's about the people. At the end of the day, many things about culture and people and how we treat the people. We are nothing without our biggest assets, and that's the staff.
Right. Yeah, that's true for any company. And I know NetLife also believes in that and has the representatives around the world in different countries like DONE in the United States. So it's definitely a model that they endorsed as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And also I think being humble to each and every complexity in other markets as well. So it's a constant learning curve, I guess. You will never be fully learned.
Right. And another one of my big beliefs is do what you do best and outsource the rest. And you're really embracing that because you recognize that you don't know the culture in these other countries. So you're bringing in the people that do and respecting them and relying on them. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And at the same time, I think we do stick to we could take any market. For example, I do think that we are quite early adopters in the Nordics when it comes to customer behavior and so on and so forth, and how we do things online and how we sell the products and what the expectancy from the end customers will be. So we also stick to our core values in how to run the business as efficient as we want it to be.
Right. Yeah, I like that, core values.
Yeah.
So ready for the next question, third question?
Fire away.
Your leadership approach combines strong financial discipline with focus on quality and efficiency, which you just touched on. How do you keep those priorities in balance?
For me, they are not competing they are not competing priorities. I think they basically reinforce each other's. But if you focus on quality, you focus on efficiency, you naturally will improve the financial outcome of it. So
right.
For me, I think you need to have two balls in the air at the same time, basically.
That's you're right. They are supportive of each other, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it sounds like you really stay focused, like you said, on core values, and those are some core values. You're not willing to sacrifice quality and efficiency for short-term financial gain.
No. With that being said, of course, we as I guess most companies do, we test things. But we need to have proof of concept before we enforce major shift in the processes and so on.
Right.
But as I said, it's a constant learning, and of course we need to adapt because if we don't develop and change, you basically will die in the end. I don't. For me, change is a natural thing for a business. You constantly need to work on everything. As of today, we are chasing seconds throughout the processing. That could sound harsh, but if you multiply those seconds with the outcome, if we take pictures of 3.5 million heads, it becomes minutes, and minutes becomes hours, hours become weeks, weeks become a lot of money in the end.
Right. Well, yeah. And to your point about change, I mean, you've been doing this for 35 years. A lot has changed in 35 years. But, you know, I always feel like we've done so much in the past year. I think, how did I know enough last year to do this? I've been feeling that way for my whole career, because there's always something to change, something to fix, something to tweak.
Yeah.
You can't, even though you stick to your core values, like you said, you can't just set it and leave it. It has to, it's a living thing that you have to keep changing and improving.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Fourth question. And you've sort of maybe answered a little bit of this with your 80-20, but anyway, as the company grew, how did you decide what needed to stay consistent and where you're willing to adapt?
Take the question one more time.
As the company grew, how did you decide what needed to stay consistent and where you were willing to adapt? And I feel like you touched on it in some of your answers with the 80-20 and moving into other markets where you brought in other players in those markets. But I don't know if there's anything else you'd want to add in terms of.
No, I think the core principles needs to be there: the operational excellence, the reliability, and the customer trust, of course. But with that said, we also need to adapt to different markets and that heritage and those complexity they bring to the broader group, so to say.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big believer in that you need to be able to be open-minded to any opportunities that might come your way. Like I've done it myself. I never thought that I'd own DONE.photos, for example, but you know, if you feel like you know what you want to do and you're only going to do that, but something else leads to it, I think it's important to be able to be open-minded to adapting. You can leverage what you know in that consistency of what you're doing, like you did in one market and brought it to other markets. But yeah, so
and I think also to be constant curious about how other businesses have set it up. Even though we are proud of what we do and how efficient we are, I think we still can learn a lot. So when we acquire a new company or enter a new market, of course, we take those best practice into the broader group and constantly try to develop both processes, but also software and to be able to scale even further.
Right. That's true. And I mean, it's one of the things that we love at DONE.photos is working with the other vendors, like that curiosity about businesses and how they work and how you can work together. It's our favorite part about owning DONE.photos is that curiosity, as you said, because we feel like we're building a better, something better that we can serve the studios with by having all those businesses collaborate basically with us. So
yeah.
All right. So fifth question. So for studio owners like the ones in the audience who are thinking about long-term growth, what has mattered most about building a company that can not only grow, but remain strong over time?
A couple of things, I guess. Consistency, structure, culture. But as I said, on one show I visited, I think 3 words is enough: simplify, simplify, simplify. Those 3 words, I think that basically describes us. But of course, consistency, structuring, and culture is extremely important as well. But the core thing is to simplify.
Right, right. And I think also, like you said, value in the people, I think is really important as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I've read, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. But in order to actually scale a business, my learnings throughout the year is you need to have system in place. You need to have software that actually can scale, because we can't have our people working as a staff member just work even harder. The day has only 24 hours, so we need to bring smartness and a better workflow for them to work with. Then you have the system in place to actually have the potential to scale. So if you don't have the system, and of course here's where NetLife come in for us, that's a scalable system that brings efficiency, and we work smarter, not harder.
Right. Simplify, simplify, simplify.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of like new businesses, I've read that it takes like new businesses 5 to 10 years really to become established, and most businesses don't make it because they can't stick it out long enough. But I always feel like the key is leveraging each success and while you're building the company, and but it takes perseverance to stick it out in those early years, I think. So
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So last two questions. We're going to look back and then look forward. So looking back, is there a lesson or a mindset shift that had a lasting impact on how you built Exakta Photo Group? You've answered it in some ways already.
Yeah, I think I basically answered that question already, but nothing. I think the biggest shift for us was actually when we entered NetLife. That was the biggest shift, because then we really could start working on the processes and to be scalable.
Right.
Even though we had quite good scale in Sweden at that point when we went to NetLife late 2010. But as I said earlier, I think in order to be scalable, you need to have the software in place, but you also need to have a culture where people want to stay, because that consistency also brings makes scalable opportunities.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so that's good. You didn't think you had something new to say, but you really did. I like that. So, okay. So looking forward, as the industry continues to change, what do you think that photography businesses need to pay close attention to right now?
Oh, that's many things. Of course, we do have I have the opportunity to actually see different markets and see where they are in terms of where we are in Sweden, and can compare. Of course, I think there are big differences between, if I take Europe, for example, it's a big difference between how school photography, even though we take pictures of kids, that's basically what we do, but in order how we go to market towards the parents, and how they can pay, and how the images is delivered, it's basically two different markets in that sense. And I do think we need to pay close attention to what our end customer, our paying customers wants. With that being said, I do think we need to be a better supplier in delivering fast. That will be something I think everybody needs to put their mind into. Of course, there are a lot of talk about AI that, of course, will also revolutionize and bring even more efficiency into to all the companies, I guess, who embrace that. I don't see it as a threat. I see it as more possibilities. So that's basically, we need to adapt towards the future expectations of the end customers, but also embrace the new technology and what it can bring for our company.
Right. Yeah, AI is a great tool for making a workflow more efficient.
Absolutely, you can use it all over the place, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So this wasn't planned. I don't know if I'll just sneak it in though, since you talked about AI. What are your thoughts on facial recognition in the school picture industry?
Yeah, that's a hard nut to crack, I guess. You could use it, but also this is in Sweden. We do have school catalogs like your yearbooks in the US, for example. So I could see features using facial recognition that will make it more easier to handle that processing. But with that being said, we also have GDPR in Europe, so we need to be aligned with that. So there can be challenges regarding that. So, but let's see where we end up.
Right. Yeah. Schools are very security and privacy minded.
Absolutely.
As a person, I always say I don't want any issues keeping me up at night. So any worries. So
yeah.
All right. Well. Thank you, Magnus. This is you're incredible. 35 years. Wow. Most people, most businesses are not in business for even 10 years. So
we'll hopefully stick around a few more years, I guess.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing your wisdom. We enjoyed getting to know you, and we're going to open up for questions now.
Yeah.
So if anyone has questions, just type into the chat, and I'd be happy to read them out. And if you don't, there's no pressure, but we'll give folks a few minutes to do that. I feel like Martin is typing, not to put you on the spot.
It's going to be a long question. Please, may I ask it?
You may ask it. Please do, Martin.
The day that you started the company, Magnus. So I'm 35 now. So
yeah.
I had a question that's because I'm in graduation photography, not school photography. It's more of like this really interesting question around demand and supply. So DONE.photos and NetLife, they create photographers that can supply more. In each of the markets you've gone to, is there a demand increase that matches the supply increase? It's really interesting, you know, because with the supply increasing, is demand also increasing? And you've got a unique perspective because you're going into lots of different markets.
That's a good question. I think the demand is quite consistent, but different markets have there are differences between the markets. UK, where you're based, is very fragmented, and I do think that NetLife can bring you efficiency to be able to scale the business further. I don't know if that was answer to your question, but the demand isn't. I don't see the demand going through the roof, but it's consistent, and I do think that's a great advantage for our industry. It's not that sensitive to ups and downs in the financials and so on. It's very flat, so it's a consistent demand for what we do. One thing that's if I intend to keep on for 35 more years, we have a problem in the Western world. The birth rates are going down, so basically we need to give birth to more children. That could be a problem for like 10-15 years going forward. But I think the heritage of school photography is great, and the demand is there. Of course, we can be better suppliers towards the end customer, maybe offer more products or better products, but definitely we need to be better suppliers in delivering those products much earlier than I think we are doing in some markets. without mentioning any markets.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? And you don't need to type it. I won't make you type. You can just ask.
If I could be allowed to just do it out loud as well. First of all, Mary Beth, fantastic questions. I thought those were very well prepared, and Magnus, wonderful answers. I was really moved and impressed with how often the word curiosity and curious came up, because I do believe that's the key to strength. My question is, we can get kind of caught up in looking at spreadsheets and projecting growth, and I've always felt like we're not selling 8x10s, we're selling the expression of a child. And I'm curious how, as you've grown and scaled your business up, how have you kept a focus on capturing great expressions of children? Because no matter what we sell and how we sell it, it's got to start there.
Yeah, basically shit in, shit out. So if we don't start at that end, then we can take poor pictures. But once again, I need to go back to the staff and say we have fantastic teams all over the group, and they bring consistency and they bring those smiles. Can we do it better? Of course we can. We can put even more effort into it. But this is an ongoing development that we constantly need to train and to have the consistency, and also have the guts to try and change to what parents actually want. But I do agree. To capture the expression of the child in the right moment is crucial.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks. That was a great question, Chris. Are there any other questions before we conclude today's session?
I'll maybe just ask one more about AI, if that's okay. Because not that I have much knowledge in this area, but I look at some countries and, they don't have any phone networks, but now they have 5G because they've just pivoted across the gap. In the world of school photography, do you think there'll ever be a company that's like AI native in school photography, and they just can create cool images from an AI upscaled image from a phone or something like that, where suddenly it will just happen from nowhere? It's just more of a thought than anything. I just thought I'd ask if, is there something that keeps you
kind of philosophical, I guess, but I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that, but I truly don't see that coming, but never say never. But of course, looking back when mobile phones came, everybody was anxious about those phones taking over the business that we had. For me, looking back, I basically think that the demand for the services that we actually deliver has increased, because as of today, the only pictures that the parents will receive at home is what we do. So even though we take thousands of pictures, but the only pictures that are consistent and come home to the table is the school photography. So even when you're facing challenges like that with technology, I think the industry has proven to be consistent.
I love that. So it creates even more meaning behind the memories you're creating in school.
Absolutely so. With that said, and I agree with Chris, of course, we need to capture the children in a good way as well. But it brings more value to what we do.
That was great, and a good question. I think one we're all in our industry considering, Martin. So I think it's good you asked it out loud. And I think your response is perfect, Magnus, in that, yeah, if we're all just loving photos even more, then let's capture photos in places where parents and their phones or AI. I mean, any of us would rather have a photo of an authentic photo in a place that exists in the world than created with a fake backdrop. So here's hoping, right? So, well, thank you everyone for, this was a really great conversation. And I know you've taken time, Magnus, it's nighttime where you are, and others of you, your lunchtime. So thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We will share this recording out on a replay. So if there's stuff you want to kind of hear again, you'll have the opportunity to do that within the next couple of days. We'll get that out to you. And we hope that you'll continue to join us monthly. We are trying to host webinars monthly. Next month, we have Jeff Brown, the photographer's mentor, joining us. So we're looking forward to that conversation as well. So hopefully we'll see you all again. And until then, good luck with your spring season. Martin, I assume yours is very busy with graduation photos. So good luck with it. All right, everyone.
Thanks
Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.